Hi, hello, and welcome to Life of Script. My name is Yaz. This is season 2, episode 2, video again. And we're in a different location only because I'm too lazy to go downstairs. So we've set up in this room. And you can guess what it may be, but I am not going to give a little tour. It is not a gorgeous room by any means. I'm in London. The reality is that the room I get is the room I get. So we move on. Anyway, this episode is dedicated to 2012. Now, I'm hearing all this floating around about the 2016 trend. Obviously, makes sense. It's 2026. It's a decade since 2016. I get it. But listening to all of people's reminiscing and nostalgia over 2016 made me think about what 2016 was to me. And then I thought about why was 2016 so good. And it's because it's the sister to 2012. 2012 walked so 2016 could run. And I low-key wish time was frozen in 2012 because of all the pop culture moments that we had during that year. Like that year alone was iconic. And I feel like I'm dedicating this episode to those who don't remember it because they were too young. So fair, dull. I will catch you up. Or you're like me and you're just going through a little bit of a nostalgia for that time, for that era, and you want to go through it with me. So I've written down in my little notebook, I got, the New Year's resolution, new journal type vibe. And I've written down a list of things that I wanted to go through. Okay, and I just wanted to say something before we get into it, which is the overarching vibe of 2012. I think if I'm thinking about 2012, I immediately think of Call Me Maybe, which is a song by Carly Rae Jepsen that came out in 2012. And specifically the music video that Justin Bieber brought out on his YouTube channel, super low quality, all filmed on his literal laptop with the likes of Ashley Tisdale, Selena Gomez, and other friends of his. They did a fake music video and it was silly, it was fun, and it was iconic. And if I think about 2012, I just think silly, fun, iconic. Anyway, let's get into it. Hello. Okay, so we do have quite a list. So I'm just going to go through them one by one and we can discuss, aka me talk at you. So I've just talked about Justin Bieber's video, iconic, would never be done now. I think everything's so curated now with the way that celebrities interact with the audience. I just remember YouTube specifically being such a powerhouse back then. And the reason was we had YouTube influencers. We had they weren't content creators, they were YouTube influencers, and mostly British ones, but we had Troye Sivan as well from Australia. And we had lots of American ones, but the British, Zoella, Alfie Days, and I remember the South African, what was his name? Oh, I feel like someone would remember it for me. There was a really famous South African. Was his name Calvin or something? God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, so that was the era. I would drop a video on YouTube. And for instance, after school, I would get on my Vivo hot pink laptop, which would take ages to load up. And that was mainly because I played Sims all the time. And I would scroll through and check each YouTuber if they had posted a new video. And the videos that they posted genuinely were 10 minutes long, if that. They were very, very short. So it was just an easy, fun, exciting thing that they would post. It was just great. I loved it. We also had Tumblr back in the day. Tumblr was probably its peak 2012 to 2014, I would say. 1975, we had all that sort of stuff. But yeah, 2012, I remember vividly having Tumblr and Tumblr being massive, and it was all about summer. If for me anyway, my one wasn't a depressing one. My one was the opposite, which was summer, One Direction, and getting fit. Like those were like my peak three that I cared about, and it was like nothing else. Like genuinely summer, One Direction, and getting fit for One Direction, because in my head I was meeting them in real life. One Direction's debut album Up All Night came out in 2012. We had Cher Lloyd also kind of popping around that same time. We had Justin Bieber's new album Believe. Iconic. I think that one specifically is like my favorite album of his, like Die in Your Arms. Hello. Then we had the Taylor Swift Red album. Yep, that one came out in 2012, guys. So you're getting JB, 1D, Taylor Swift, you're getting Carly Rae Jepsen, and you know what you're also getting? Gangnam Style by Psy. Gangnam Style. Yep. That one came out also in 2012, or it became a hit in 2012. Who cares? It was banging. So what I wanted to say about this was that 2012 was the last. 2016 was fabulous, and I'm not discounting it at all. But 2012 was the last time I think we had a real collective audience when it came to viral sensations. So if you think about now, when you go on YouTube and you see these, like, I don't know, like let's say a movie trailer or like a music video, and you see so many millions of views, and you're like, cool, like I actually have no idea if that's like a general public, like everyone knows about it, or it's a certain demographic, because at this point everyone's on the internet, and so therefore, you know, it's viral. But is it viral to like everyone, or is it viral to like a certain amount of people depending on the algorithm, right? So for instance, I always talk to my friends about my TikToks, and they're like, I've never heard of any of those TikToks that are coming up on your For You page. And it's because we just have two different For You pages. But I'm looking at these TikToks and there's millions and millions of views, or like they're, you know, inside jokes with them and stuff like that. Like, and none of my friends are getting it. So then I'm like, wait, so the viral sensations are really, really, they can be isolated in a juxtaposition way. Like they're viral, but not really viral. Anyway, so 2012, and I just remember it vividly. If something went viral, it went viral. Like everyone in the world knew about it. And there was like this certain vibe of that, because we were all on the same page. We all collectively knew what we were talking about. There was no one that was like excluded. It was all like the entire general public knew this meme, this video, whatever. And so what came with that was really fun, like sensations. Like obviously I think planking was there as well, and Harlem Shake was the year after. But Gangnam Style was genuinely a viral sensation. And it took over the world, and it took over companies. Like companies would do it. Same with planking, same with Harlem Shake. Like back then people just didn't take things so seriously. Anyway, I miss that a lot. I think, you know, we can't go back to that point, but that was a real peak in internet time, like, if I'm going to be honest. We also have the London Olympics, which was in 2012 summer. Some movies that came out, well, specifically one movie that came out that I just think about a lot because I always watch it and I love the books, but Hunger Games came out in 2012. Yeah. Yup, it came out in 2012, and that was also a viral sensation. I remember vividly not being able to afford the DVD. So I mean, I used to always watch movies illegally online. I remember whenever my friends or my family would go to Bali, getting those illegally downloaded DVDs from those stores for like genuinely 50 cents. And it was always just a man in the back filming with a camera in the movie theater. And you know, sometimes there would be like a little shadow in the corner where someone's sitting and watching the movie or like chatting away. So that was lovely. And basically I had a Hunger Games DVD that was filmed in the theaters, and it would pause and skip through just one scene, and it also had people talking in the scenes a lot. But I loved it. Like, who cares? Like, at that age, I was like, I don't care. I'm just excited to see the movie. And we also had, wait, I'm going to give this an honorable mention at the end. We also just had different phones back in the day. Now, people don't appreciate this enough, but I appreciate it. I think this was like an era. So back in 2012, and I think, 2013 as well, we all had different phones. And now Apple wasn't dominating in the way that it dominates now. So, for instance, I had a hot pink Nokia C3, C35, C3. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like because it was iconic. QWERTY keyboard, of course, and it barely worked. But my God, was it a vibe and a half. It was beautiful and I treasured her so much. There she is, C3. It's being sold for 23 quid on eBay. Low-key considering. Can you guys see that? That was what I had. Yeah. Yep, iconic. It was so good, guys. It was so good. And some of my other friends had flip phones and, the ones LG, and it was like a slide up, like, and then it had a touch screen on the top. But the touch screen back then, guys, not good at all. Not good at all. You'd press it and it'd press another part of the screen, and then you'd end up calling your mum. It was crazy. And then obviously everyone had what was the Blackberries. Obviously they were iconic, but low key Blackberries were like corporate as hell. So if you had a Blackberry, you were like kind of trying to cosplay corporate life in school. It was a bit, but also it looked sickening. So there was like Blackberries, a spectrum of Blackberries. Like my dad had a Blackberry, but then there was these iconic ones that they definitely sold for like our younger generation, and everyone had those. And they were so good. Like the sound of people pressing the keyboard. Nah, bring those back. I actually miss it because you would never know what someone's phone would be like, and then you always got to like experience it for the first time, and everyone had different phones, and I kind of miss it because it was just not a thing for everyone to have an Apple iPhone. It wasn't even, people just didn't really have iPhones back then. Like it was just not a thing. So we had iPods, but that was kind of like, it kind of had a wave after. Anyway, I wanted to say it was the year of festivals in Australia specifically. I am, again, Australian, so this is obviously my experience. But we had a lot of festivals back then as well. Big Day Out was still a thing. It wasn't canned. And the music in the Australian industry especially was like really good. Like we were getting some real good bangers. And then I wanted to say an honorable mention to my favorite, Kony 2012. Now, I hope the people that I'm talking to, I'm reaching the right people here, because Kony 2012 was genuinely so iconic. My religious ed teacher was obsessed with Kony 2012 and had posters all up in our classroom. Like he was all over it like a rash, and for it to end in a meme was just like the funniest thing ever. So for those who don't know the lore behind Kony 2012, let me just get you up to speed. So there was this YouTube video that came out from the Invisible Children, and there was a spokesperson there, was one of the founders, and he talked about capturing Joseph Kony, who was a Ugandan leader. He was doing bad things. He was making children into soldiers, and there was a lot of things that he was saying in the video, and it was kind of a call to action. It was a rally, you know what I mean? Like, and so he was like, we're making action kits, and like, you need to, put your voice forward, and like, denounce everything that's happening over there. Rah, rah, rah. It's not being reported on correctly. This is like, our final call to action, because we're desperate for people to kind of care about this situation. Anyway, it became, like I was saying before, a viral sensation. And like I said before, it wasn't isolated. Everyone knew about Kony 2012. Like, it was huge. And there were action kits purchased, and these action kits had like a little like Kony 2012 badge and like a t-shirt and stuff like that. It became huge, and people were all over it like a rash. It was just, it seemed like that was the only thing people could care about. Like, it was, and like, things are happening all over the world all the time. Like, that is the case. But for some reason, Kony 2012 just like past all of that and was like, right, this is our number one priority, no matter what. Anyway, it later became a meme because it turns out the money that they were taking from the action kits and those sort of things that they were selling, allegedly, they were using for their own personal use. And and on top of that, the co-founder that was speaking like in the video was found to be publicly masturbating, and was arrested. And so later it just became this huge meme, and we were all like, oh, it's a scam. And I will say one thing is that I fell for it hook, line, and sinker at the ripe age of 14. Hand over my heart, I was ready to buy an action kit. So that was 2012. I'm sure I've missed like a number of other pop culture moments, but I wanted to give a shout out to 2012 because for me, it was great summer in Australia. We had a beautiful summer, and we had all these pop culture moments, and everyone was happy, and we were all just like having the time of our lives. The music was like the best it honestly has been. And, now in this current climate where things are looking pretty bleak, it's nice to reminisce. And I will reminisce over 2016, but I've got to give my hat to 2012, where it all started. And I just wanted to give my 2 cents while it was still a sort of trend. And yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if I've missed any, or if you want to comment on any sort of other 2012 moments that you were like, these were so influential. Please, 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 please jot them down. Please DM me, whatever. Anyway, thank you for listening. You've been listening to Life Off Script or watching it. And I'm just going to give a little shout out to Emily, who is one of my best friends, and she has left London. Her visa has been completely fulfilled, finished, expired now after 3 years. I wanted to phone a friend, phone Keir Starmer, just ask for a bit more time with her, but turns out he doesn't really answer those sort of calls. But if anyone knows, if anyone's listening to this, and I'm sure there would be like so many people, affluential people that would know Keir Starmer firsthand, and can just reach out and ask for him to kind of let us extend our youth mobility visas, that would be great. That would be so helpful. Thank you. Thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. Much love. Bye.